Good morning. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel to continue on my part series. The week that was college football's history in review, the 1960 college football season. Now in November 5th, 1960. This is week 8 now. Talking about the 1960 college football season. Before I get into the November 5th, 1960, the week that was for week 8, for November 5th, 1960, let's look at the polls of October 31st AP poll. Number 1 was Iowa, number 2 Missouri, number 3 Minnesota, number 4 Navy, number 5 Iowa State, number 6 Mississippi, number 7 Washington, number 8 Tennessee, number 9 Syracuse, number 10 Rice, number 11 Baylor, number 12 Auburn, number 13 Duke, number 14 Pittsburgh, 15 UCLA, 16 Arkansas, 17 Michigan State. Number 18 spot was a tie between Colorado, Utah State, and New Mexico State. So let's get into it, man. The week that was college football history review. Week number 8, November 5th, 1960. Army upset number 9 Syracuse 9-6 in New York City. Yankee Stadium throng saw cadets fashion upset in their 64th visit. Yankee Stadium throng saw cadets fashion upset in their 34th visit to the house that Ruth built. Army quarterback kicker Tom Blanda made like pro brother George and kicked a 29-yard field goal for a 3-0 lead in the second quarter. Meanwhile, Syracuse halfback Pete Brokaw followed with long run but coughed up ball to Army defensive tackle Bob McCarthy at 20-yard line. One of 3 critical Orange fumbles. Orangemen never advanced closer than Army's 44-yard line in the first half. Cadets took possession after second half kickoff and scored on quarterback Dick Eckert's 2-yard option run for a 9-0 edge. Fullback Al Rushheads chipped in with a 46 yards rushing on that touchdown march. So when quarterback Dick Easterly threw 15-yard scoring pass to end Paul Erickson midway in the fourth quarter, Syracuse finally dented Army's superb defense, which was led by guard linebacker Al Vanderbush, who will be a future West Point AD. North Carolina State beat Wake Forest 14-12. Number 13 Duke beat number 4 Navy 19-10 as phlebitis became contagious disease that apparently was passed from number 13 Duke to number 4 Navy during halftime break. Blue Devils quintet of first half fumbles enabled middies and kicker Greg Mather to kick a 25-yard field goal and catch 9-yard touchdown pass in the last 1:30 of second quarter for 10-0 lead. When Navy threatened again in third quarter, Duke started its rally as sub-defensive tackle Art Gregory sacked quarterback Hal Spooner, and Spooner's resultant fumble launched drive to fullback Dave Burgess touchdown and halfback Mark Leggett's 2-point catch. Now trailing 10-8, Devils gained third quarter field position on punter Randy Clark's punt to Navy 30-yard line to set up halfback Dean Wright's 7-yard touchdown on 16-10 edge. NT Mormon's 2 catches from quarterback Don Altman, poised kicker Billy Reynolds field goal early in the fourth quarter to clinch the upset. Meanwhile, number 8 Tennessee was upset by unranked Georgia Tech 14-7. Number 8 Tennessee was upset by unranked Georgia Tech 14-7 as the Yellow Jackets surprised their record crowd at Grant Field and unbeaten number 8 Tennessee with smothering defensive play of tackles Ed Nutty, Billy Shaw, and Larry Stallings, and guard linebackers Dave Watson and Rufus Guthrie. Before defensive uprising, there was brief offensive outbreak which started with great punt to 1-yard line by Georgia Tech fullback punter Don Coker. It created field position for halfback Chick Granning's spinning 16-yard touchdown run that provided Tech with lead less than 6 minutes into the first quarter. Next came lightning bolt kickoff returns that greatly impacted final result. Volunteers wingback King Waddle followed a Granning's touchdown with 52-yard kickoff return, then caught 7-yard touchdown pass from tailback Glenn Glass on the 9th play of the Tennessee drive. So Jackets halfback Billy Williamson was sprung by N. Gerald Burgess block and went 93 yards to score with ensuing kickoff. So with score at 14-7, still in first quarter. Long day seemed to await each team's defenders, but Engineers' defense took command and permitted only 139 yards and seven first downs by end of game. The Tennessee's only threat of second half started with tailback George Cannell's 58-yard punt to Jackets' 5-yard line and ended when defensive back Granning thwarted ensuing probe with interception of fourth down pass. Florida beat Georgia 22-14. Number 5, Ohio State beat Indiana 36-7, and prepping for next week's presumed showdown with Iowa, Ohio State raced to a 27-0 halftime lead. The Buckeyes fullback Bob Ferguson and quarterback Tom Matte, who was 7 for 9 for 3 touchdown passes, shared rushing duties on a 56-yard march to Ferguson's touchdown in the first quarter. Matte nailed all of his 3 touchdowns in the second quarter, last of which was in Chuck Bryant's 36-yard sensational end zone grab while covered by 2 Hoosiers. Indiana avoided shutout with late touchdown after guard John Johnson blocked Buckeyes punt. Sub in Bill Quinter caught 22-yard touchdown pass. Now this is a big matchup right here during this time, November 5th, 1960, for Week 8, that you had 2 top 3 teams go at it. As number 3 Minnesota played against number 1 Iowa, where number 3 Minnesota beat number 1 Iowa 27-10. Bruising Golden Gophers won the duel with undefeated number 1 Iowa benefiting from 3 turnovers and win in the cold. Bad punt snap on which Hawkeyes punter John Calhoun was pursued and swamped by end Dick Larson of Gophers gave Minnesota ball at Hawkeyes 14-yard line and early going. Halfback Bill Munsey soon scored from 7-yard line. Iowa reached Gophers 6-yard line in second quarter, but Minnesota nose guard Tom Brown stuffed guard Bill Lucindio back into the Iowa quarterback Wilborn Hollis on third down run that spilled back to the 11-yard line. So Iowa settled for fullback kicker Tom Moore's 28-yard field goal. So with a strong third quarter win, the Hawkeyes earned their only lead of the day at 10-7 on fullback Joe Williams' 20-yard burst for touchdown. The Gophers replied with 81-yard voyage to quarterback Sandy Stevens' touchdown sneak, which provided lead for good. Minnesota added icing touchdowns after Iowa halfback Sammy Harris fumble went to Gophers defensive tackle Jack Wheeler, and Iowa quarterback Matt County lost fumble when sacked by Gophers defensive end Bob Deegan. Each turnover led to touchdown by Minnesota. Fullback Roger Hagberg's 42-yard run and quarterback Joe Salem's sneak. Next, in the battle of 2 top 20 teams, you had Missouri, number 2 in the country, against number 18 Colorado, where number 2 Missouri beat number 18 Colorado 16-6. Missouri spotted Colorado 6-0 first quarter lead. Buffalo's quarterback Gail Wiedner threw 38-yard touchdown pass to end Gary Henson at end of 78-yard drive sparked by fullback Chuck Weiss 31-yard rushing. Backed again to own goal line by Bison passing. So Missouri got saving tackle from defensive end Tommy Carpenter. Suddenly Tigers wrestled away control, getting touchdowns from halfbacks Donnie Smith on 2-yard run in second quarter and Norm Bill on 55-yard punt return in third quarter. So Missouri led 14-6. Defensive end Danny LaRose put game out of reach with the fourth quarter end zone sack of Wiedner. Missouri's mighty defense showed some signs of weakness on pass defense as Wiedner succeeded in hitting 6 passes for 91 yards, but 5-game winning streak of Bison was over. Iowa State beat Oklahoma 10-6. Iowa State had not beaten Oklahoma since 1931, but superior line play of guard Dan Saloni, tackle Larry Van der Hayden, and end Don Webb keyed to the upset. Sooners gained 223 yards on the ground, but never threatened after halfback Mike McClellan's second quarter touchdown run was the product of a 71-yard drive that gave them a 6-0 lead. Cyclones end kicker Larry Schreiber kicked low, knuckling field goal that was good for 38 yards in the third quarter, but to pull Iowa State within 3 points. Saloni had fumble recovery, a ball dropped by Oklahoma halfback Billy Meacham to launch Iowa State's late winning drive. Cyclones tailback Dave Hopman had 182 yards rushing on 29 carries, carried on 7 of 10 plays to the first down at Sooners' 3-yard line. At the 5-yard penalty against Iowa State, sent it back to 8-yard line. It took 4 downs to accomplish fullback Tom Watkins' touchdown run from 6 inches away. The capacity crowd at Clyde Williams Field went berserk with joy as last 3:04 counted off clock, and the 29 years of defeat washed away. In a battle of two top 20 teams, number 16 Arkansas beat number 10 Rice 3-0. A fierce defensive battle that was led by linebackers quick little Razorbacks. Center linebacker Wayne Harris, future Hall of Famer, had hand in 24 tackles, while Owls fullback linebacker Roland Jackson had 14 stops. Rice threatened in third quarter with a 62-yard drive, built on runs of Jackson and halfback Bob Waite. But quarterback Billy Cox suffered interception by omnipresent Harris at the Porkers' 3-yard line. Arkansas fashioned winning 72-yard drive in the fourth quarter. Big play coming on quarterback Billy Moore's 36-yard completion to end Jimmy Collier. Kicker Mickey Cicella booted a 36-yard field goal with 25 seconds left. Next, we had number 7 Washington beating and shutting out Southern California by a score of 34-0, as the Washington Huskies, number 17 in the country, felt right at home in the rain in Los Angeles as they took major step for return trip to the Rose Bowl with a pair of quick touchdowns in the first quarter, but Southern California in deep hole at very outset. Tough halfback Don Makita covering opening kickoff blasted into USC halfback Nick McClain and resulted fumble set up Huskies at 23-yard line. Fullback Ray Jackson, who had 80 yards on 23 carries and 2 touchdowns, carried on 4 of 5 plays and slammed over from 4-yard line for 7-0 lead. So less than 2 minutes left, Washington halfback George Fleming fielded punt and slipped away from tackle Mike Bundra and end punter Marlon McKeever at midfield to splash 65 yards for touchdown. The Trojan sophomore quarterback Bill Nelson, who had 61 yards rushing on 17 carries, sparked answering drive deep into Washington territory as he was roughed on 17-yard keeper to 10-yard line. Good news was that ball was moved half this to the goal line of the Huskies, but bad news was Nelson, with badly cut hand, had to leave. New Troy quarterback Al Krukup bobbled his first snap and lost fumble to Washington goal line. Chuck Allen, halftime clock killed USC's next trip inside the 10-yard line late in the second quarter. Huskies' own second half as touchdowns were scored by Jackson and Fleming again. Kicker Fleming made 2 field goals, and sub-quarterback Kermit Jurgensen pushed across goal line late in the fourth quarter. USC had arrived with desire to win, for goal guard Mike McKeever in hospital with head injury. Coach John McKay said, and while the score may make me sound silly, I think we would have made a good game out of it if we could have closed the score to 14-7 on that drive in the first quarter. Number 18, Utah State beat Wyoming 17-13. Showing tied for Skyline title honors, Utah State set school record with the 8th win in a row. So the Aggies enjoyed a 10-0 halftime lead, but Wyoming moved within 10-6 as quarterback Chuck Lampson capped a 23-play, 87-yard drive with 14-yard touchdown pass. Utah State halfback Tom Lawshield scored for 17-6 lead, and that score triggered wild-ending halfback Dick Bayman immediately answered with a 97-yard kickoff return for the Cowboys touchdown that tightened Wyoming's deficit to 17-13. The onside kickoff succeeded for Cowboys, but Aggies defense, led by once-in-a-lifetime tackle Merlin Olsen, held on for win to stay undefeated and maintain school's first ever top 20. Now let's look at the AP poll as of November 7th. Minnesota was number 1. Number 2, Missouri. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, Mississippi. Number 5, Iowa. Number 6, Washington. Number 7, Duke. Number 8, Navy. Number 9, Arkansas. Number 10, Auburn. Number 11, UCLA. Number 12, Pittsburgh. Number 13, Michigan State. Number 14, Tennessee. Number 15, New Mexico State. Number 16, Rice. There was a tie for the 17th spot between Yale and Syracuse. Number 19, Utah State. And number 20, Florida. So that concludes a look at the week that was. Week number 8, November 5th, 1960. Week 8, November 5th, 1960. Week 8. Hope you enjoyed everything that I talked about as far as week 8 of the games that were played on November 5th, 1960 for week 8. So that concludes this video. You can subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you can to support the channel. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.